Hello and welcome everyone to the ISCA Tucson Sound Dart Saturday Night Cup and Super Cup Series here as we tackle Watkins Glen once again. Definitely saw a very exciting race on Thursday, and I have no doubts that tonight will be just the same here. A little bit of less of a car count, and we're still ready to bring all the action to you here tonight as we tackle the Asus 110. Of course, as always, I'm joined in the booth by Mr. Big Al. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, man, doing pretty good, Brian. Excited to be back here at the Watkins Glen, man. Another road track, get to go left and right again, and hopefully, if this race is anything like that race that we saw on Thursday, should be a pretty interesting show for everybody.
Definitely should be. I mean, we see a lot of guys are very close on lap times here, so we'll have to hopefully we'll see a lot of door-to-door racing. Would not be surprised to see that for sure. But right now, Chris Rivera in practice has the best lap by far. I do believe we even mentioned it before we got started here. He was a little bit over a second faster than everybody else, so that's definitely not a going to be probably not something that's going to instill a whole lot of confidence in these other drivers, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's really not what you want to see, especially once you get out here. Some of these guys are obviously struggling a little bit more than others, but this field is actually starting to stack up a little bit. I think we got somewhere around 12, 13 cars, so I think it's going to be interesting. But once again, though, Chris Rivera does actually have a pretty good shot at lapping at least some of the field, right?
Yeah, I mean, could definitely happen. We're just going to have to see. It's going to depend on mistakes and whatnot out there. But let's go ahead and take a quick step away and turn it over here to Chris Rivera as he's going to take a little bit of a preview lap around this track just to show everybody kind of what these guys are having to deal with from the cockpit.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome, everybody, to the ISCA for the running of Watkins Glen here this evening. I'm going to take you through a lap here as we come through the final corner of Watkins Glen. First, I want to get a good exit to set up your initial lap. Up to third gear, you may see some drivers stay in third. I'm going to go up to fourth. Watch for the caution light on the right-hand side. Very hard on the brakes. Right after that, don't miss turn one like I do. You can use a lot of this area out here. Be careful, any wider you can get 1X. Quick up to third gear, slight lift off the throttle. If you want to stay nice and tight, really set up this left-hand corner, and if you do, you can stay flat all the way up here through the S's. It's going to be a real tricky section tonight. And we're going to be looking for the 500 marker just off here on your left-hand side. Again, really hard on the brakes, a lot of deep braking zones. Get as much curb as you can. Going to be all 4 tires off the ground tonight, so that's going to be real fun. Nice and tight here for the carousel. You're just waiting, wanting to get to the throttle. We can get to it nice and early because we have all this new track here with this new stand of Watkins Glen. Another real fun challenge, getting over that curve. Look for the grass on the right-hand side. Again, really hard on the brakes. Back down to second. Nice and tight here for these last 2 corners. Get nice and wide for this last one. Carry as much speed as you dare right out to the tire barrier, this new safer barrier. And that there is a lap of Watkins Glen. Ryan and Al, back to you guys.
Definitely thank you to Chris Rivera for taking the time out to, put that lap together and showing us kind of what it looks like to take a trip around this track here. Let's take a look at the race facts for tonight's race. I do believe we're going to be doing 45 laps here at Watkins Glen. Stages are going to be 9, 18, and of course the race ending on lap 45 going to 46. 5 sets of tires, actually 4 down in the pits, but as we saw on Thursday, those tires really won't make a whole really big difference here. Lap fuel window, though, is 25 laps. Majority of the drivers on Thursday were not able to make that full run, but we did see Danilo Coelho make a really solid, interesting attempt at making it the whole way. And he actually was successful in that. It was turning his car off on the straightaways, which is something that I never thought was even something that was even considered. We did still see Clayton Hoffman was also able to make the run by clutching. So could we see some guys try to throw some alternate strategies out here tonight, Big Al?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, you got the miser, Chris Rivera. He is one that has always been known to for somehow find fuel from air, I guess. But so definitely look to see what his strategy is going to be. Plus, a lot of these guys probably did pay attention to what actually occurred on Thursday, as well as have the opportunity to turn multiple laps themselves, which was going to have a huge impact on their performance here tonight. It's a lot different once you've been racing on this track for 5 or 6 days. I think a lot of guys have had plenty of time to collect that necessary data.
Yeah, 100%. Looking at a little bit of the track facts and weather here for tonight's race, 2.42-mile racetrack, 82 degrees ambient, 109 right now on the track surface, which is, a little warm, but a little bit cooler than what it was on Thursday. I think it was like 113, if I'm not mistaken, on Thursday. But winds right now 7.2, somewhere in there, kind of going up and down, coming from the southwest. So the wind shouldn't have too much of a play out here. So this should be some really good, conditions for some racing, Big Al.
Yeah, it should. We actually had a little bit of cloud cover there on that track Thursday. Hadn't been actually able to see any clouds out there today, so that should be good because, it will affect the track because it's going to be different temperatures, different places around the track. So drivers are going to have to be cognizant of that. Looks like, though, for the most part, everybody's got a pretty good handle on this thing here tonight.
100%. Looking at the Tucson Sound Art Cup Series points here, Kenny Powell up in the points lead, 2 wins. He's got 397 points. Chris Rivera right now, 4 wins, 395. So he's only 2 points removed from being in the points lead. So Kenny Powell's going to need himself a good day today. Jose Acosta, he's right now sitting in 3rd place in the points without a win. Brian Johnson, 4th place with 1 win. I don't see him in the standings here, so we'll have to wait and see if he actually shows up maybe a little bit late here. Ryan Strunk, he is in the field. He's sitting in 5th place in the points right now. Paul Olson, 6th. Chris Johnson sitting in 7th. Gary Adamson in 8th. Darren Mullins, 9th. Robert Pattengale in our rounding out our top 10 here. And we haven't seen Pattengale in a couple days, or a few weeks, I should say. So, unfortunately, he's probably going to be falling down the running order a little bit more here. Taking a look here at the Super Cup points. Now, this is a little bit of a different story, actually a way different story. Chris Rivera is at 1,227 points with 9 wins, so he has almost, I do believe, 300 points over Kenny Powell right now, who's in 2nd place with only 3 wins. Josh Schaffner, he's in 3rd with 3 wins, and I think I heard through the grapevine, Josh Schaffner not going to be here tonight. Jose Acosta, 4th place. 5th place, Eric Kling. I don't see him out in the field either. Haven't seen him in a couple weeks here. Brian Johnson, 6th place. Ryan Strunk, 7th. Greg Wychinski, 8th. I know he's going to be a starting park, if I'm not mistaken. 9th place, Paul Olson. And 10th place, Gary Adamson. So a lot of these guys that are participating in tonight's race and the guys that aren't, this could be a grand opportunity for these guys to get some points, Big Al.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to take advantage of whenever you can get points. Road course cause it should be an opportunity for some guys to actually maybe finish a little bit better than they would say on a standard oval. So just gonna have to see what tonight's race holds for us.
And it's all going to be about mistakes, essentially, or avoiding them and not having catastrophic mistakes like we did. We did see some of those on Thursday. I know Greg Wychinski comes to mind on the first lap, kind of really destroyed his car. Was able to get back out there and turn some laps, but still, finished a lot worse than I think he wanted to. And unfortunately, like I said before, he's a starting park. We also saw Clayton Hoffman later in the race, have a spin, kind of cost him the ability to race for the win. And, we could even see something like that here tonight. I mean, you never know what can happen at a track like Watkins Glen. I mean, we could see, any of these guys into turn 1. I mean, it could be a demolition derby. These guys were saying that, some of them were saying that hopefully my throttle doesn't get hung. So hopefully we don't see any of that happening, actually. I think hopefully they were just joking.
Yeah, turn 1 is definitely going to be a tricky situation for those guys to navigate that. Turn 1, lap 1, I think is probably going to be when it's the most hairiest. After that, and also going through the bus stop chicane for that first lap, it's probably going to take us at least a lap, that full lap, to get our tires kind of up seasoned, if you will. And then after that, I think they should also try to space themselves out a little bit.
100%. Definitely excited to see what this is going to look like right now. Chris Rivera sitting at the pole, 1 minute, 10 seconds, .156. That is faster than what he hit in practice. That is a very, very good lap. He is definitely really right there in pace with those guys on Thursday, which is kind of interesting to see. I mean, we saw some guys verge on that 109, kind of lap there, but no one was really able to really touch it except for, I think J.C. Nobrega got really close or did barely crack it. So can we see Chris Severa crack it tonight?
Well, putting down a 110.156 right there on this qual setup, as these tires get seasoned, he definitely will have an opportunity to probably display a little bit more speed. And I know he's probably going to push it because as these guys become more familiar with the threshold here, if you will, to these cars, I think you're going to see a lot of guys kind of throwing it out there a little bit more.
Yeah, one thing we see a lot on these road courses is when the gas starts to drain out of these machines, we start to see, really the lap times start to go down a little bit here. So as we mentioned before, tires really not going to be the main thing. What we're going to see really is going to be pit strategy. That's going to be the main, I think, thing here tonight. I mean, we saw a variety of strategies on Thursday. I wonder if we'll see the same picture here tonight.
Oh, the strategies. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a myriad of different pit strategies. And some of them are going to be successful and some of them are going to be tests. So, we're just going to have to kind of ride it out with the drivers, though, and let these things unfold, man. But I'm excited here. Looks like qualifying is slowly coming to a close. The majority of the drivers elected to actually even put down a qualifying lap. So that also is going to be pretty good for us as well.
Yeah, we definitely had 8 drivers that have elected to qualify, and I do believe we're starting out with 13. So that means a few cars decided not to. So have to see where they kind of line up in this grid. But let's go ahead and take a step away. Go ahead and play our nation's national anthem, and we'll be right back.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of and the home of the brave, the
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to have the grid here set. I do believe everybody has gotten lined up here. Chris Severa going to be lining up on the pole here tonight. Jose Acosta going to be on the outside pole in second place. Kendall Lavron in third place. Greg Wachinski going to be starting in fourth. Ryan Strunk in fifth place. Kenny Powell in sixth. Chris Johnson, 7th place. John Mullins going to be starting in 8th. 9th place going to belong to Gary Adamson. Paul Olson rounding out our top 10. Andrew Layton in 11th. And Derek Jacobs, I do believe, rounding out our actual 12-car field. Thought we were going to be 13, but I do believe someone maybe got a little bit of cold feet coming into the start here. But everybody looks like they're getting ready to go, just waiting on the pace car to pull off. And we'll get this race started here. 110 miles. Going to be 45 laps. Definitely going to be full of excitement. So, Big Al, who are you looking at? Who's going to be the one you're going to keep your eye on here tonight?
I'm not sure, man. It's just going to be a long run. But, you know, Chris Severe is definitely going to be the car to beat. I mean, hands down. This guy's – he's putting on a clinic here, I do believe, if he can stay clean. But, you know, it's a long way to go, man.
Well, yeah, but, you know, knowing Chris Severo, we've seen it time and time again. You know, sometimes he does kind of, you know, trip himself up. You know, it's not a lack of talent. He's got a lot of talent in that race car, you know, for sure. But, I mean, all it takes is one little mistake, and it comes whenever you least expect it. It's when you're at your most confident. That's when you make that mistake, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It just takes a second.
But, I mean, any of these guys definitely going to be in danger of, you know, making that mistake. Just going to have to keep an eye on it. You know, attack a curb a little too hard, touch the grass. I mean, that's all it takes. Interesting, we see Greg Wachinski is going to be starting 4th. And, you know, from my information, he's going to be a starting park here tonight, unfortunately. But hopefully, I think he's trying to get as many laps as he can in as he can. I mean, that's got to definitely be something that got to be disappointing, you know, to have to leave. I understand that he has to. It's a personal reason. Not really going to go into detail on that. But, I mean, still, I mean, he's a racer through and through, and having to, you know, park the vehicle and get up out of the chair definitely has got to be not too easy, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's not going to be fun, and it's not going to be easy, so.
A big shout out to Tucson Sound Art for coming on board here for this season. What a great product those guys have there. Definitely makes a great centerpiece for any room. You know, get a customized piece of artwork and, you know, have some music coming out of that thing. I mean, don't even really have any outward speakers or anything that makes it look like music is coming from it. So it's definitely could be a nice centerpiece as we start to roll here. Also, big shout out to Asus. Definitely appreciate them coming on board for tonight's race. And here we go as we roll through the pace laps. A lot of guys probably going to be trying to get their tires heated up just a little bit here because you mentioned it before. You know, it's going to take a couple laps to get that tire temperature up to what you really want it to be. And, you know, that's why I think that it's even more of a gamble to take tires than not, because if you take tires, you're going to have to go through that whole warm-up process once again.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody is taking tires here tonight. I mean, that's the one thing that we have noticed, that drivers have elected to forego replacing those good years because they just seem to get faster as they roll along.
It's definitely very interesting the way, you know, that works. It almost reminds me in a lot of ways of, you know, some of the racing we've seen at, you know, the, I do believe, I'm trying to think of the name. My brain just shut off there from, you know, some open wheel racing or, you know, maybe a P217 or any kind of road cars. You kind of see that a lot on road courses, but, you know, in previous incarnations of the NASCAR cars, you know, you did see tire wear at these road courses, but it just does not seem to be the case anymore. Definitely, you know, that's definitely interesting how that works. I mean, it seems like it's always evolving, you know, the tire model here in this car. You can see everybody trying to weave back and forth here to try to get some temperature in that tire. I wonder how that really works. I mean, I've heard, you know, two sides of this story, whether, you know, doing that weaving thing, scrubbing your tires on the simulator actually does anything. I mean, I know in real life it definitely does, but I mean, I've heard, you know, both ways kind of go.
Yeah, but as the tire model progresses, just like you said, the space car is getting ready to get off racetrack. But as the tire model progresses, now you do have those temperatures there. So yeah, I do believe it actually adds value.
Well, there it is, the green flag out in the air for the first time here tonight. Kendall LeBron with a good restart there, but Chris Severa beats them all. He's going to be having all the real estate going into turn 1. This is going to be the problem spot.
Yeah, Jose Acosta really off the pace there on that restart. Chris Severa really caught him sleeping, and that cost him dearly.
Yeah, and allowed Kendall LeBron to make his move up to the 2nd position. Kendall going to be trying his best to get up there to that 62. I'm impressed with what Kendall's been showing here tonight. I mean, didn't know he was really that talented of a road racer, but definitely am seeing like he is. Here comes Ryan Strunk, even going to be trying to work here on Jose Acosta. Acosta bobbing a little bit there in the chicanes.
So far, so good, though, Brian. Looks like everybody's successfully able to navigate around the racetrack for the most part here for lap 1. Look at how wide Chris Severa goes out there as he comes off of the turn 5.
Yeah, I know going really wide on some of these corners can be somewhat of a mistake in a lot of ways. I know. Oh, there goes Ryan Strunk sideways into the grass. And he is going to lose all of these positions. Luckily, he still is going to have a stage coming up here in 9 laps that's going to save him. Let's see exactly what happened here. Watching Ryan Strunk right now. I think he just dives into the corner. Had no hope of making that corner. He was just going, I think he was just straight up sending it there. Big Al.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like.
But look at Kendall LeBron. He's not losing too much time here on Chris Severa. Severa going to be hoping that he could pull away here. See, Kenny Powell has made his way up to the 5th position. I do believe, I don't believe he qualified here today, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely looking for a good finish. We talked about those points, very, very close in the Cup standings.
Yeah, right. Powell only has Severa by 3 points, so he is definitely going to be trying to get everything he can and then some if he wants to at least, have any chance of even trying to catch Severa.
He's really got to be praying that Severa has a bad, something happens. As we see Andrew Layton able to do a little bit of a late break there and get underneath the 64 and take that position. He moves up to now 6th. In practice, I know Gary Adamson was impressing me. I think he's got some speed there in that monster Ford.
Yeah, they're just going to continue to increase their speed and pace as the race continues, because as these tires do get seasoned and they get warmed up, these drivers are going to get faster and faster. The 77 and the 27, Derek Jacobs, they're probably going to be the first contenders there to become lap traffic. And unfortunately, with road racing, once you lose that lap, you don't get it back. There are no lucky dogs.
Yeah, definitely not going to be easy to try to get a lap back here. You'd have to hope everybody else pits and you're the one that stays out. Then you run the risk of not having enough fuel. So you're going to have to hope that you do not lose that lap. Luckily, those guys are only about 25 seconds back from the leader. I know Derek Jacobs is about 25, 26 seconds. Of course, it is climbing as we speak. He's definitely a lot more off the pace, I'd say, than even Ryan Strunk here. Kenny Powell's looking pretty good, though, right now. Last time by, he was a 10th or a little bit less than a 10th quicker than Greg Wachinski. So I think that he's one we saw race on Thursday. Didn't necessarily have the best day, but was, didn't get in too much trouble. We're going to have to hope that he can have a similar night tonight, but maybe be a little bit better. That's one thing about, being able to race on that Thursday series and racing here on Saturday is that you have a little bit more, preparation, I'd say.
Yeah, anytime you can get the ability to turn laps, and that's the best thing you want. You want the ability to actually be able to, and especially if it's under race conditions, that's exactly what you want.
Chris Severa out to a hearty lead right now. Over 3 seconds he has. Lap times, not really the quickest we've seen. Definitely not what we saw in qualifying for him. But I think he realizes that, hey, I should take it a bit easy. I shouldn't be trying to turn the fastest laps right now because it's not really going to, play out well. I mean, as long as I'm able to build a gap, then that's all I need to be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to go out there and beat your equipment up and take yourself out of contention for this thing, especially as we're just halfway through the first stage. So I think he's, good on him. He's being smart. He's not using his stuff up, and he's saving his tires kind of also, and he's kind of getting an idea of what it's going to be like to save fuel.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it could be. He's trying to get a feel on what it will be like when it comes to that final stage to, save that gas and make it the whole way. We do see Greg Wychinski. He's starting to hound Jose Acosta a good bit here. That 42 seems like he's faster on this front stretch here, but in the turning portions of the track, it seems like Wychinski is able to really make up a lot of time on him. We'll have to see if that continues to be the case.
That's another thing too about these road courses is some drivers are quicker in other parts of the track than some drivers are quicker in certain parts of the track than other drivers. So it kind of really it balances itself out, if you will. You're gonna probably have close to the same lap time, and you'll gain and lose that position as you start to run around this thing.
Also, got to keep in mind, I do believe next week's race, Daytona, will be the last race of the regular season for the Super Cup season. And the playoffs will be starting at Darlington Racetrack. So Daytona is going to be a wild card all on its own. But I've heard that Darlington, we already know Darlington is the track too tough to tame. But I've also heard some inklings that they have updated that track a little bit too and added a little bit of a grip strip on the bottom of that track. So could we see a little bit different style of racing there? Definitely something I'm looking forward to see what that looks like. And, definitely that is a hard track to start the playoffs out at, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a hard track to start anything. It's a great track to end a lot of stuff like your racing career, your bank account. Yeah, definitely a hard track to start. Darlington is definitely not an easy track to race.
No, not at all. Very easy to get acclimated with the wall there. And a lot of people are even of the mind that if you don't hit the wall, did you really race there?
Got to get the strike.
It's like a badge of honor for a lot of drivers. A lot of history at that racetrack. A lot of history at this racetrack too. We talked about it before. When you think NASCAR road racing, this is the first track that comes to mind, Watkins Glen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This was one of the first tracks that NASCAR actually did race on, and I think back in the day in the Dizzy, they were actually considering another. They were calling it a left and a right league. NASCAR was considering, but that kind of fell to the wayside. But yeah, it was amazing how well those drivers adapted to actually driving on the road course. And I don't think anybody would have believed you if you would have told them that here we are now, and probably you're looking at having, a considerable increase in road courses, especially with this car.
Yeah, I don't think that if you had went back in time to when NASCAR's roots began and you showed them a picture of the cars that they would eventually evolve into, I don't think they'd believe you either.
True that.
I mean, heck, if you showed them this simulator, they'd be like, what? It would probably blow their minds. We're watching a little bit of racing here, though. You see John Mullins trying to hold off the 36 of Gary Adamson. Adamson's definitely been hounding that 64 here. But, I mean, it's one thing to catch someone here and another thing to pass them. especially at a road course.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well to see how this, because this stage is going to be over here.
Yeah, I do believe we are on the final lap here of the stage. Should be seeing the yellow flag come out probably in just a minute or so as we see Chris Severa completing that final lap, going through the chicanes here for the final time for this stage. And he has a good lead, 3.5 seconds, not crazy large, but it is definitely a hearty lead that he could be proud of, and is going to have to hope that he could do that again. But hopefully he didn't give too many of his secrets away for that first stage, because a lot of guys, they're going to be adjusting on, maybe not adjusting on their car. Oh, Chris Severa almost loses it right there, letting it all hang out on the final corner here. And he's going to cross the line as your Stage 1 winner.
And I'm going to tell you, that stage could not have ended soon enough for Derek Jacobs, man. But kudos on him for actually being able to stay on the lead lap as we are waiting for the 77, I do believe, to cross that line. And that will bring Stage 1 to a close.
Yeah, I do believe he's getting ready to cross the line right now here as he exits the final turn himself. And yellow flag will be flying probably right now as Strunk is the 10th place car to cross the line. So that's going to give Chris Severa the Stage 1 win. Kendall LeVron second. Jose Acosta third. Greg Wachinski in fourth. Fifth place Kenny Powell. Sixth place Andrew Layton. Seventh place John Mullins. Gary Adamson in eighth. Paul Olson ninth. 10th place Ryan Strunk. And 11th place Derek Jacobs. Strunk has got to be really happy that that caution came out. Just considering, I mean, this is going to be very good for him. I mean, he was pretty quick in the beginning of Stage 1, but unfortunately, had a bit of a turn there, run through the grass. Of course, didn't damage his car. So he's going to be happy that he's going to be able to get caught back up to this field.
Yeah, definitely. And right now he's probably just thinking about what could have been, so he gets a whole another shot to go out there, get up front again, and try his luck.
Well, with that, let's go ahead and take a brief step away, pay some attention to our sponsors, and we'll be right back with our Stage 1 winner, Chris Severa.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the majority of drivers, I do believe, yeah, all of them, are taking a trip down pit road. Let's see if the rights and lefts go up on these race cars, if they're going to be taking tires or not. Looks like no for Chris Severa. Looks like he's just going to be taking fuel. Jose Acosta misses his box. Oh, no.
Kendall LeBron beats Chris Johnson off of pit road. Or was that Derek Jacobs?
No, that was Kendall LeBron beating Chris Severa off of pit road, not Johnson.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Chris Severa.
Where is Chris Johnson? I do believe he's actually out of the race car. Saw him earlier in the event. I do believe.
I believe Chris Johnson, I think he lost power. That's what he said.
That is unfortunate.
But this is very interesting. You know, everybody should have pitted on that first run right there, because this is going to be, you know, stuffing it with gas, getting as much in there as you can. You're going to do this because that way you don't have to take as much gas there on at the end of stage 2.
Well, this just in. I hate to interrupt you, Big Al, and let you finish here in a second. Chris Severa, penalty. He's going to the back of the pack. Let's go ahead and talk to him, though. Won't you? You want to talk to him, Big Al?
No, man. I just like talking to second place guys.
Chris Severa, we got you here in the booth, man. Did you get a speeding penalty there?
Yeah, I did.
Well, walk us through what happened.
Well, he must have the troopers out on pit road there or something, because it was like a 1/10 of a mile an hour.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Give us another chance.
They're trying to get their
there.
quota, right?
I guess so.
Well, definitely.
We might as well top it off since we're back here.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, we saw you led every lap of that, first stage. How was the car feeling? I mean, we saw you on the last set of corners there that you kind of letting it all hang out, drifting a little bit. Was that just for fun, or is that are you having trouble with the car?
Yeah, the strategy was to try and save as much fuel as we could, so we could have a shorter pit stop here than everyone and still come out in front. So it doesn't matter if you speed. So the last lap there, I was just trying to see what I could do for pace.
Understood. We definitely saw some very fast laps from you, and it looks like that one you were trying to get some pace. It was a minute 10.671, so definitely a good lap and a quick pit stop there from you. Do you expect to try to drive back through this field? Is it going to be a daunting task?
Yeah, just got to be patient. Unfortunately, not going to be able to save in this stage as much, but hopefully we'll take the track position going into the next pit stop. But just got to be patient getting through everybody here. We single file out really quick, so don't want to force anything by anyone and ruin the race.
All right, we know the pace car lights are out. You've caught back up here to the field. Who can we get a little quick shout out from for you, or who could we shout out for you right quick?
Yeah, definitely the guys at Gas and Go, and it's a Team Watson Racing set under us tonight. It's a real fast car. So, yeah, that's what we're rocking with. Really appreciate those guys.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate your time also, Chris, and we'll see you. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
That was Chris Severa, our Stage 1 winner. We'll have to see if he can pick up Stage 2, but he's definitely going to have one arm tied behind his back here, Big Al. This is going to be, I think, a joy to watch. Maybe he did that on purpose just to give us a little bit of something to keep an eye on as he's going to try to get through this field.
Yeah, not big of a deal as I think, though, because he should have actually no problems actually getting through the field and getting back up to where he should be running. So, I think it's going to be more of a thing about how long it takes him to get through the field. Is he going to be patient, or is he going to just try to run on back up there?
Definitely a big opportunity for Kendall LeBron here, as he's going to be trying to take advantage. As the pace car down pit road, and there goes Kendall up through the gears, wasting no time. Large start there from him.
Yeah, he's trying to beat that turn 1 rush.
And you can't blame him. I mean, as you see, look at Gary Adamson dives in, gains a position off of it. Adamson really letting it all hang out there going into turn 1, and it paid off.
Yeah, Layton was hard on the brakes as he was coming into turn 1. Might have gave Mullins a little bit of a heart condition.
Yeah, we see Gary Adamson now under fire here from Kenny Powell. Powell's like, yeah, you might have been able to outbreak me to turn 1, but can you keep me behind you? We also
Ryan
see
Strunk.
Chris Severa passing Strunk.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Strunk coming right up on to the backside of the Chris Averas. They all got checked up coming into the bus stop there.
Chris Severa getting a huge run there on that, taking that wide corner. He's going to get side by side with the 64, and he's going to late break into the corner, and I think he's got him as we complete 1 lap in stage 2.
Yeah, and 77 tried to follow him through, but just didn't work out for him, so he had to actually check up. And that's going to put him behind the 64 of John Mullins.
62 now going to be going side by side with the 84 of Andrew Layton. You see Severa able to make that position up. A little bit of break locking up right in front of them. See the 36, Gary Adamson, just got passed by Kenny Powell. Powell is now up to 3rd. Powell needs these guys to hold up Chris Severa. He needs Severa to struggle.
Severa's not going to struggle as he makes easy work of Adamson. Rolls right by him, just like that, he's all the way up to 4th. And now he's going to be super fast on Powell coming through the bus stop. Watch how he is going to gain on him.
And he really did. I mean, look at this, right up to the back door here of Kenny Powell.
I was watching these guys in practice, and the one thing, Severa caught up to Powell a couple of times, but it was amazing how much faster he was than Powell going through the bus stop.
I just think that takes a lot of confidence with his race car and comfort, being just comfortable in his shoes here at this place. And I think he's definitely, really showed that. Heck, I think that, we saw him do that preview lap showing everybody how to get around this place. I bet if he did a preview lap now, I bet that one would be even better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He is now up to 3rd, but he still has a quite a large margin to try to get up there to Jose Acosta. I do believe almost 3 seconds separating 2nd place and 3rd. You see Jose Acosta on your screen a little bit out in front here. But Kendall LeBron now has 1.7 seconds of a lead. I think Kendall probably watching that relative, though. He sees Severa, the 62. He's like, oh, no, he's up to 3rd now. I don't have as much of a buffer as I did when we started this stage. So hopefully, I think Kendall would be happy if he's able to secure a stage win here.
And, another thing, too, is, and the 64 of Mullins hard into the wall there. That's definitely not going to buff out.
Oh, he's going to be done.
Yeah, he's probably going to need to get some TLC after that shot that he took.
Take a look at this accident here. See what happened. See Ryan Strunk. He's getting around him there. Haven't gotten to the point. There it is. He lost it on the exit there of the chicane. And bam, right into the tire barrier. You can see that tire. Tire on tire contact apparently is worse than you would think. Considering that tire looks like a tie rod has broken on that machine. See the,
I think he might have had a little bit of damage previous on the nose of that car to that, too. I'm not sure.
Could have weakened it a little bit. Could be.
But, one thing about this to note, that this is really going to be to the detriment of Chris Severa because he wasn't actually able to sit back and conserve as much fuel as he wanted to during this stage. He actually had to put the hammer down and kind of get up because he's still in 3rd. So he still has to get past Acosta. He still has to get past LeBron to get back up to the lead. Not saying that that is definitely his goal, but he is burning probably a lot more gas in order to catch up than he did before when he was actually leading this thing.
Yeah, and it's just his last lap there was a minute 10.019, so he's getting closer and closer to breaking that 9 barrier.
Yeah, that's just 3 tenths. That's just 3 tenths slower than his fastest within his qual lap, which was his fastest lap that we'd actually seen so far today.
Yeah, actually, the lap he turned on the lap right before was actually faster than his qual lap there, Big Al. It was it literally only a couple hundredths, not even a couple hundredths, less than a couple hundredths away from busting a minute 9. I mean, that is really crazy fast as Severa now on the back bumper here of the 42. They're going to be battling here. I don't think Jose Acosta is going to really you know, you know how Chris Severa and Jose Acosta get along. We've seen Severa send that 42 before when he gave him too much trouble.
Well, Jose's just not the guy that's going to just, you know, roll over and play dead, if you will. He is going to make you earn it every step of the way. And so Chris Severa, you know, he'll get a little. He'll take a little, but that's, I think, about all he's going to take. Then he's going to start to give it.
I think this is what Kendall LeBron wants. He probably wants Jose to really hound the 62, try to give him a, you know, put him behind the 8 ball a little bit here, just so you know, Kendall can sneak away and get a little bit more of a buffer. As I do believe next time by we're going to have 3 laps here in the stage remaining. No, I'm sorry, 2 laps.
Jose got really loose there coming off of turn 2.
Well, one thing about it, though, I mean, this is the chance that
oh,
we could
Jose
see problems.
into the wall.
Chris Severa able to successfully navigate around there. Yeah, I saw that little piece of the wall he grabbed.
That was almost very ugly for Chris Severa there. He was trying to get around Jose Acosta. Jose just all kinds of out of sorts there, just making it a very sketchy situation for the 62. But you know what? He made it by, and now he is on his way chasing down the 28 of Kendall LeBron.
Taking a nice cockpit camera here out of Chris Severa as he chases down Kendall LeBron. Kendall probably not going to say shaking in his boots, but I'm sure he's definitely very aware of Chris Severa. Looking in his rearview mirror and seeing that bright green car, definitely unmistaken who that is.
Yeah, but, you know, he can't get caught up in his rearview mirror. At this point, he has to keep his eyes forward. He's got to make sure that he's hitting his turns right, you know, because if he's going to spend any amount of time looking in the rearview mirror, I guarantee you he's going to make a mistake. And that's exactly what happened to Jose Acosta. He got so consumed with 6'2" being in his rearview mirror that he just lost sight of where he was going, and you can't do that.
And look at how much time Chris Severa just gained through that chicane. He just drove right up to the back of the 28 here.
I do believe that the bus stop chicane is Chris Severa's favorite turn in all of motorsports.
Well, you could definitely tell because he gains a lot of time through there. Expert he going through there right now as they're going to be fighting for the lead. And I do believe the white flag for the stage is going to be out this time by.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be trying to get that position on the inside of the 28.
Look at that late braking there from the 28. He's going to be trying to hold off Severa as best he can. You see the rotors glowing almost red there. Just tell how hot those things are getting under this hard braking.
And now the turn to watch is once again is going to be to see how much gap Chris Severa is actually able to close once they go through that bus stop.
Well, even if he's able to get a good gap, it is very difficult to pass through this chicane. We saw that, you know, on Thursday, how difficult it was. But look at this, old Severa through the grass.
He risked it for the biscuit.
Man, I don't know. I think he did that on purpose. I think he was trying to cool his tires on that grass.
I think he was trying to get around the 28, you know, but he did not lose a lot. I mean, he was very poised coming through the grass, I must say.
Yeah, I was referencing the whole thing about iRacing, saying that you know, guys were taking advantage of going through the grass to cool their tires. Looks like Chris Severa, though, has taken the lead as he crosses the start-finish line here. Caution should be coming out here in the next moments. Not over yet, though. Until that caution flies, Kendall LeBron still has a chance here.
Man, that's just you know, way to go, Kendall. He led every lap in the stage except for the last one, unfortunately for him.
He's definitely had a lot of pace here. I mean, no doubt. He's definitely done a great job. But it's very difficult to try to compete with a man like Chris Severa. And look at that. Jose Acosta has made up a lot of time coming out here. He's going to be catching up here quickly to Kendall LeBron.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to continue racing until that 77 makes it across the line. There it is. There's that caution that we were looking for. And I'm going to tell you, these guys are probably glad to see it because now, you know, This is the caution that's going to matter. This is the one where everybody's going to come in and track positions. It'll be everything coming out of there. And also, you can see just how tricky you can be if you do the wrong thing and get caught speeding. So with that, I think we should take a step away and get a word from our sponsors.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody has not made their way down pit road just yet. Would like to keep mention, though, we have had 3 cars elect to leave the race track here. I do believe John Mullins, after his significant damage, has taken his leave. Of course, Greg Wachinski, of course, said that he was going to be doing a start and park here tonight. Has also taken his leave. Derek Jacobs also out of the race car. But I would assume everybody is going to be taking a trip down pit road this time. But I don't know, though. On Thursday, we saw a lot of those G&G guys did not pit, stayed out, and pitted right essentially 3 laps into the final stage. I mean, just to make sure they were going to be good on gas. Couldn't we see that again tonight?
It might not. You probably won't see that from the G&G guys. You're probably going to see guys come in on that next lap as well. The second caution lap's just trying to get as much gas in as you can. I think that's going to be the name of the game. And then I think it's stuff, conserve.
100%. Guys are going to try, I'm assuming going to try to make it, because they know it's possible. It's definitely within the realm of possibility, but it's hard to save at a road course. I mean, because you're already worried about so many things, Big Al. You're already doing the shifting. You're having to brake and, all that stuff that you're always having to worry about at the same time. You know what I mean? And then you throw it on top of it, maybe throw a little clutch in there. And if you're Danilo Coelho, even, shutting off the car, all those variables, adding that's asking a lot of the driver.
So Ryan Strunk elected to stay out. And he'll probably be pitting, like I said, on the next lap. But right now, he was the only driver that elected to stay out. Now he could actually stay out and run the 3-4 laps and then stuff it with gas. But that would definitely make it very interesting for those behind him.
Yeah. Well, why don't we grab Kendall Levron, Big Al? You want to chat with him?
Hey, Kendall, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got a copy, buddy.
Man, congratulations there on that second place, second stage stage win, stage finish rather.
Yeah, I thought I had him going into turn 2, but I think when I threw it in second, he had more of a momentum going into the corner and coming out. But getting second place again in the stage, I'm happy with that. Get some stage points as best I can and try to do whatever I can to get into the playoffs, but I think that's not going to work. But trying to get a good finish this race, because some races, like last week in Michigan, ended early in lap 3. It happens, man, with toe links breaking.
Yeah, these cars, that new damage model is definitely something that you have to take stock of. But, man, looks like your car's handling real fast there. I mean, maybe you wasn't able to hold off Chris Rivera, but I think you got a chance at having a good, solid second, man. And if he makes a mistake, I think you got a chance at actually even winning this thing. What do you think?
I probably do got a chance to win if he kind of makes a big mistake, kind of like what he did going into the pits from the first stage, where he basically got a speeding penalty. But if it ends up a fuel mileage, I know I ain't gonna make it.
Oh yeah, totally got that, man. So, how is your car handling though?
She's handling pretty good and all. It's just I just got to hit my marks just right. Make sure I'm going and not make any mistakes, because just 1/10 can make it or break it on these tracks.
Well, Roger that, man. Appreciate your time up here chatting with us. Anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to Team Watson Racing, Warrior Racing, good group of guys. Team Watson Racing with Kenny Copeland for building this setup, man. It's been phenomenal and pretty badass all week. All my family and friends that are watching, I'll give a shout out to all of them as well. And y'all at the booth, keep up the good work.
Well, hey, thank you, man, and good luck to you. And hopefully we'll be able to talk to you at the end of this thing.
10-4, bud.
That was Kendall Levron. Definitely has had a great day so far here today. Looking to see how these guys are going to definitely proceed here for the last part of this race here. Kendall, unsure, did not think he's going to make it on gas. I think some guys are going to be trying to make it on fuel, though. I mean, so it looks like some guys are just going to resign to the fact that they can't make it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should swing for the fences and try.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to give it a run.
We'll have to wait and see here. Pace car lights are out, though. Ryan Strunk has stayed out. I do believe he's on 4-lap-old tires right now. So, still could be a good chance for him. Of course, track position is going to be very, very important. But he is definitely not going to have enough gas to make it here. We did see Kenny Powell pit on that second go. I don't believe a whole lot of other guys did that. Greg Wachinski's back on the racetrack. He's like 9 laps down here. Green flag, about to be back out in the air.
Green.
And there it is, green flag, and Chris Severa gets a tremendous start. Ryan Strunk did not get a good start there, even though he was the control car.
Yeah, definitely. Now it's going to be, I mean, we just got to watch and see how long he's actually able to stay out front.
Yeah, it's going to be hard when you see that 62 behind you. Look at that, Severa already catching up to the back of the 77.
I don't think he'll try to block. I mean, if anything, he should let him pass.
These are definitely not the places to try to let someone go. We saw that on Thursday. But you see, you know, Strunk doing a good job. He's able to hold off that 62. But for how long here? Looks like he's going to be able to get at least 1 lap led. So good on that 77.
Yeah, you got to take what you can get, man.
Yeah, I mean, getting 1 lap led, I mean, that's something at a track like Watkins Glen. I mean, it's not easy. You know, you could lead 1 lap in an oval and be like, well, you know, I'm not really that fast. But Strunk, you know, to lead a lap at Watkins Glen is not easy in the slightest, especially under green flag conditions. It looks like that 77, you know, looks like he you know, has some speed in that race car. So, I mean, could he, you know, make something happen here, even though he is a little bit, has a little bit more of a deficit on gas? We know Chris Severa. I think that he's going to be the one gambling. He's going to be like, you know, I'm going to try to make it. And I think that's why he's not maybe not racing that 77 quite so hard, because he wants to try to make it on fuel. And that 77's acting almost as, you know, somewhat of a fuel pig, if you will, you know, trying to, you know, get a little bit of that draft.
Yeah, but the 77 is 2 seconds slower on his best lap than Chris Severa is. So I don't think this is going to be long-lived.
Yeah, you
and
see
just like
Severa,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, just like that, the 62 is going to... Oh, and the 77 closes the door on the 62. He's going to lead 2 laps in this thing, Brian.
Nice job, the 77 holding off to 62. And, you know, he was kind of using the same tools that Chris Severa was using through that area. He took that corner really wide and got a huge bit of momentum off. And now the 42 manages to get around the 62. Jose Acosta now up to 2nd place. But for how long is we? Oh, Severa locks it up a little bit, wiggling. Now he's going to be under fire from Kendall LeVron. Could the dirty air be affecting this race car?
Oh, it didn't affect it when he drove through the field. So I think this has got to be something to do with his strategy. And we've seen Chris Severa do the same exact thing on road courses before, where, you know, he just has to lay back. He's got to clutch it. He's got to conserve, because he's not planning on stopping. And that's the honest, I mean, that's exactly what we can believe. You know what I mean? If anybody's going to have a shot at making it to the end, it's going to be him.
Jose Acosta catching some grass there.
Got a little bit loose. And this is what happens. Sometimes Jose has a tendency to kind of drive with the mirror, if you will, and that doesn't always work out too good for him. But look at Ryan Strunk. Sorry, he's actually pulling out to a lead. And Brian, he is turning his fastest laps of the race every lap.
Yeah, he's definitely getting faster and faster.
And he just broke 111 with a 111.440. That is his fastest lap of the race so far, the lap that he just turned.
Yeah, he is definitely, I do believe, third quick on the racetrack when it comes to fastest laps. So I think he might have been not showing his full hand there, Big Al.
Yeah, and Kendall LeVron going way wide right there. He's going to be hanging out in fourth place. But I think what you're starting to see is these guys are just in conserve mode.
But if you're a guy like Strunk, you wouldn't be in conserve mode because you know you can't make it. It's impossible to make it for him. So, I mean, why would you conserve?
Yep, so he's just got to put the hammer down and do what he knows how to do. I mean, and that's just drive away. And that's exactly what he's doing. But, you know, that's why I say you have to stick to your own strategy. You cannot change your strategy because what other people are doing.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, you can't let other guys change your strategy around on you. You got to run your own race, and that's, you know, that's where success comes from. You know, especially at a track like Watkins Glen, you can't race other guys out here. I mean, you of course you have to in a lot of cases, but I mean, you need to be able to race the track to begin with. That's your number one priority, to be as efficient as you possibly can around this racetrack.
And just like that, we are halfway through this thing.
And we mentioned Greg Wachinski back on the track. He took a little bit of a hiatus there, had to go handle some personal businesses. Now it's back on the track, and he actually passed, you know, Kendall LeVron. It's so sad. I mean, I was a little, even talking to these guys a little bit before the race, you know, I was like, man, that's got to be disappointing to, you know, to know you got a fast car, to already have, you know, had a bad night on Thursday, come in here and you still got a fast car. I mean, you look at him, he would have been up in the top 3 if not for what happened there.
Hey, man, you know, it's life. You know, you got to have your priorities where they are. And so apparently his priority was not having a fast car here tonight. But, you know, at least he gets to come out and race, have fun, represent with his team, you know, and, you know, yeah, that's all you can say about that, really.
I'll tell you, someone who is in ultra conserve mode right now is Kenny Powell. Last time by, minute 13.7. He is definitely being ultra conservative right now just to make sure he's got enough fuel.
Yeah, because Kenny Powell, you know, he did pit. So I think, you know, he knows what he needs to do in order to make it through this thing without actually having to stop. And Brian, having to stop, it's going to totally take you out of any contention, because the strategy for the guys that are going to be in contention to win this thing is simply to continue to race until the checkered flag waves.
Definitely liking the amount of, I'd say, patience that Chris Severa is showing right now. I mean, this is definitely his plan. He's like, you know, I think at any time, any point, Severa has the tools to pass both of these cars that are in front of him. But I think that he's just like, I'm not going to fall for that temptation. And this is a different Severa. You know, usually when we see, you know, Severa's good at saving, but he's also, most of the time, he's one of those guys that loves to just, he's gonna take that chance to pass a guy. You know, it's hard for him to avoid that temptation, but it looks like he's definitely, you know, showing us a little bit different side to him tonight.
Ryan Strunk down pit road. Kendall LeVron down pit road. So these guys are short pitting it so they can actually get their gas down, get back out there and drive as hard as they are. But the key is going to be getting in, getting out super fast. And I like the fact that they're stopping so early, because that means they're going to be actually, they're going to be able to go hard until the end of this thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're going to be charging up on guys that are still conserving, and that's going to be their key. They're going to have to try to get around those guys, as the 42 of Jose Acosta is now the lead. Now Jose's going to have to stay out of his rearview mirror. He can't focus on Chris O'Farrell back there. He's just going to have to continue to hit his marks, because he could easily find himself in harm's way if he gets too distracted by the fact that Severa is going to be back there.
And even though he's 9 laps down, Greg Wychinski could even play a role here, affecting the results of the race here. He's catching up to the back of Severa and Jose Acosta. Could he put some pressure on those guys that maybe they didn't expect?
Yeah, I do believe something occurred with the 28 car. I'm not sure. Maybe he got caught speeding or whatever, but I think he has decided to park it.
That is unfortunate. Definitely hate to see that. You had a top 3 car and had to park that machine. Unfortunate. I mean, and I don't blame him, because whenever you get a speeding penalty,
Well, I don't know if that's what happened or not. I just know that he pitted with the 77, and then shortly after pitting, he elected to withdraw. So I don't know. So maybe something came up. I don't know.
Could be. But I know that if it was a penalty or something like that, I mean, this is the worst time to get it. Like, under a green flag stop is the worst time, no matter what track you're at. If you're on a road course or an oval, a penalty under green flag stops is the worst. You don't come back for that unless the caution comes out. And guess what? No more cautions tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to run the rest of this thing green.
That's right, boys and girls. The 84 now finding himself down pit road. Yeah, Kenny Powell's just totally milking it. So I definitely think he is in conserve mode, because I think he knows that as these drivers continue to drop off having a pit, he'll just continue to make those positions up because he won't have to.
Yeah, could even find himself with a top 3 position here if he keeps on the way he's going. But, I mean, one thing about it, though, I mean, those guys, like, Orion Strunk and Andrew Layton, those guys that pitted coming off a pit road route right now, they're not going to have to. They're not going to have to save. They're just going to drive as hard as they possibly can. And if Kenny's going 2 seconds off the pace here, those guys might catch him.
Yeah, and another thing too is I'm sure Chris Severa is still wanting to push Jose Acosta, but at the same time, I don't know how much he's actually being able to save right now.
I think he's saving enough. I mean, just considering, he's letting Jose kind of get away a little bit here. Chris is not running his fastest times by any means. And, could he even be, throwing a little clutch in there, trying to make sure that he's saving enough gas. Because, I mean, we know that you can save in that way. I mean, you don't have to do that strategy that Danilo did where he shuts off the car. You can do a little bit of clutch action. So could that be what Severa's doing?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got his own strategy of conserving. I'm just wondering if he's actually having to drive a little bit harder than he had anticipated just to keep Jose Acosta honest.
Yeah, and maybe he would want to drive a little bit harder just to push Jose to maybe burn some more fuel up too.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the whole, you know what I mean? You don't want him to just sit back and get fat and dumb and happy. You want to kind of force him, make him burn it up a little bit. And I think, I was just wondering if maybe that's what Severa was doing.
Definitely could be the case here. So we're going to have 16 laps to go here this next time by. And Jose Acosta, your leader right now. Definitely got to be happy with this. Should be able to earn a podium here. We'll have to wait and see how his fuel is looking. Gary Adamson also looking very impressive. He's sitting right now in 3rd place. That 36 has been doing a great job here tonight.
But Jose's actually doing exactly what he needs to do. I mean, right now he is a lot more composed. Looks like he is running his race and he's doing what he's got to do. Now we don't know what his fuel pit strategy is, but as these laps do tick down, I think we'll be 14 to go at the line. It will start to surely reveal itself.
Yeah, definitely unsure. I'm very much unsure on what. I mean, because Jose's not running his fastest laps either. I think he might have conserving in mind also. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, definitely wish we could be a fly on the wall in these guys' rooms and you know, are in their cockpits to see what the strategy is. You know, had that information to see how much gas someone has left. I'm sure even the analysts on actual NASCAR probably wish they knew that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, the drivers will know when it's time for them to go. That's the key thing, and they'll know exactly how much more they'll have to conserve. And I think Severa's got his finger on that pulse, but I do believe he has got to play cat and mouse here and make Jose Acosta get outside of that fuel conservation window. Here he comes, just like that. Severa's going to be on the inside of the 42 of Jose Acosta. He is taking the lead.
Yeah, maybe that could be a sign that Severa done saving. Maybe he thinks he's got enough now.
Yeah, I do believe that he might have just hit that limiter to where maybe either one or two things is going to occur, and that is either he's going to make it or he's not.
Chris Severa back up into the lead here. Was able to win stage 1 and stage 2. Even after stage 2 had to drop all the way back to the rear of the field, drove his way back up through and still won stage 2. Now he's back up here in the lead for the final stage. Can he hold on to it? We saw at the end of stage 1, whenever he was trying to be his fastest, trying to let it all hang out, that was when he, you know, kicked that thing out, started sliding a little bit. Could we see that from him here later, and could that equal a tremendous mistake?
No, I think he just knows exactly what he needs to do, and he's just gonna go do it, you know. And I think he's gonna have fun with it too.
Well, that's the problem. When Chris Severa starts having fun, that's when the mistakes start to happen. Because you know he loves to let that thing hang out. He likes to drive it on the, you know, he loves to have it sideways and.
Yeah. He loves to drift that thing.
He really does, and it's just gonna have to try to avoid that temptation. Save the drifting for when you've actually won, and then do a couple burnouts. See, Ryan Strunk has now gotten back up to 5th place, and guess what? He's catching up to Kenny Powell, not that far from these two. I do believe 8 seconds separating the drivers right now. Of course, Strunk is good to go to the end. Kenny Powell still questionable. I know he's saving quite a bit, but because he is saving so much, he's definitely running a whole lot slower. Minute 13.565 versus Ryan Strunk. Minute 12.127. That is over a second quicker. And we'll see that gap really start to decrease, just considering. I mean, a second lap quicker, that's a lot. A little bit of a different paint scheme we're seeing from Ryan Strunk here this week. Liking that, looks like almost a classic NASCAR kind of paint scheme there. Manifesto, I do believe, racing there. Or a marketing group. Yeah, Manifesto Marketing Group, I do believe that's what the sponsor is on that race car. We really haven't discussed it a whole lot. I'm curious about Gary Adamson. What does his fuel situation look like? I mean, he hasn't been running necessarily the fastest laps. I mean, still not bad laps. I mean, he's in the minute 12s, but could he also be good to go on gas? As we're closing in here on 11 laps remaining.
I don't think we're going to find out until we get down to the last lap just who's going to be good and who's not going to be good. I think it's going to be close.
And that's one thing we didn't see a whole heck of a lot of on Thursday was guys running out of gas. Could we see that tonight?
Yeah, I think we might. I think, didn't one of the Brazilians, I do believe, ran out of gas?
I think you might be right. I can't think of who that actually was. I think Chris Johnson, might have ran out of gas too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be too far stretched, though, for tonight's competition, though, because, I mean, a lot of these guys out there, you know, and sometimes, like you said, you know, well, like I say, it's really easy to get caught up in what other people are doing, you know, but if you didn't save the right amount at the right time, though, it might not work out for you. So I'm interested to see what Jose Acosta's situation is going to be, if he's actually good or if he's actually going to have to
Oh, Chris Rivera
loses it.
That is what we thought. I thought that could happen. He's still not back out onto the, or he's back on the track now. Jose Acosta is going to be your leader because of that.
And you know the same thing that happened with Clayton Hoffman. When he loses it like that, that consumes more fuel than if he would have just been able to roll through.
Yeah, because as soon as those tires stop gripping the surface that he's driving on, that causes the RPM to spool up. Because, I mean, the tires don't have as much resistance when it comes to putting, you know, they're just going to sit there spinning. That's going to cause the RPM to go up, and you're going to burn more gas.
Yeah, 10 to go, too. That's when that actually happened. And it happened
right
in the bus stop, which happens to be Chris Rivera's most favorite turn in all of motorsports, right?
I bet it probably maybe moved down a peg after that. But now, I mean, Jose Acosta, he's got 5 seconds now on Chris Rivera. Could we see Jose Acosta come home with the victory? It's still early to tell, but, man, this is definitely going to be trending in his favor. He's got to be sitting pretty and happy right now. Cannot believe that Chris Rivera just lost it through that set of corners. The corners that he's been best at all night long.
There's still a lot of racing left to go, though, Brian, and he has more than enough time. You know, he just has to be patient and just he has to do a Rivera. You know, and if he can do that, I think he'll be just fine. Now, the key is going to be if Jose can actually stay out of that rearview mirror.
Yeah, but one thing about it, too, I mean, I think Chris has the pace to catch back up to Jose. He's already done quite a good job of it so far. 4 seconds now separating these two, so he's you know, gaining time all the time. But the thing is about it, if he was saving before that spin, and he's going to have to he can't save anymore because he's got to get up there to Jose now, and you know that's going to make it to where could he be pushing it to the limit on the gas?
Yeah, I mean if his strategy on the fuel side was to get to the end of that, he definitely blew that strategy completely out of the window when he lost control like that. So, but you can't live in the moment, in the past. You got to keep going forward, man. And so I'm sure he's already making the necessary adjustments, right?
He's definitely catching up to Jose. Now only 2 seconds separating these two. So the race not over by a long shot. What we saw was a huge mistake. Might not be the end for that 62. Luckily, he didn't really hit anything. But still, I mean, you just mentioned it. You said you can't live in the past. As a driver, I know it is very easy to fall into that hole of dwelling on the mistakes you've made. Could we see Rivera fall into that hole and maybe make another mistake? I mean, it could very well be possible. He's chasing a rabbit right now. He's chasing the rabbit or the carrot on a stick, if you will. And that is when you have a lot of potential for making a mistake. And every single time he comes through this favorite area now, he's going to be thinking about what he made a mistake at.
Yeah, and I think that answers our question on the 36 as he is now down pit road. So Gary Adamson now down pit road, so that means he did not have enough fuel to make it.
That puts Kenny Powell up to third and Ryan Strunk in fourth.
Now, this is what I was going to say about that. Kenny Powell, just plugging along, He's actually having himself a pretty good point today as well. It's just like that Severa's now pulling up on the side of the 42. And he is going to be trying to make that pass as they come into turn 7. Side by side for the lead.
It looks like Severa's going to capitalize. He gets a huge run on the exit there. And back up into the lead. He's got to be really careful now, though. Jose probably like, where did this guy just come from? You know, like you saw him spin out. He's 5 seconds back, and he caught me again.
Yeah, Severa's now just going to have to, pull a Severa. He's going to have to just stay keen, stay on pace, easy in, easy out, and just keep making the right moves.
Another person we haven't talked a whole lot about here tonight, Paul Olson. 7th place right now. Not a bad day for that 43. He's able to outlast these guys. He is, I do believe, a lap down, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 2. But still, I mean, outlasting the rest of the guys that did not finish this race, you gotta say something about that.
I'm showing Olson on the lead lap and in 6th place.
I think you might be right. Yeah, you're right. You are correct. I'm sorry, my telemetry was showing the wrong information there, so yep. Yeah, just moved up to 6th place. I think after Gary Adamson had just pitted. So, yeah, that was the reason that was throwing me off a little bit there. So, Adamson actually found himself a lap down. But the race could still be on for 3rd place. You see Strunk, I do believe he's only 5 seconds back from Kenny Powell now. As the next time by, we're going to have 5 laps to go.
Ooh, Olson is definitely going to be fighting. I think he is getting ready to go a lap down as Chris Severa will definitely be approaching him sooner than later.
And you see him right there on the screen, Chris Severa coming in. And here comes Paul Olson. He's just going to go ahead and take it down pit road, probably go ahead and get a tank of gas.
Yeah, I think he's going to need that splash to go. But, it's interesting to me that the guys will actually wait so late like that in the race to pit.
I think the one to watch is going to be Ryan Strunk, though. He is closing in so fast on Kenny Powell. You see Powell on the screen now, only 2 seconds, I do believe, 2 or 3 seconds separating these drivers now, depending on where they are on the track. Of course, we mentioned it before. Some guys are going to be better in other portions of the track than others.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Kenny Powell's just a sitting duck, though, because Ryan Strunk is definitely reeling him in. And the only thing I could think is that Powell is still in conservation mode with 5 laps to go, though. I just think he is going to run out of time.
Last time by, minute 14.477 for Kenny Powell. Strunk is now, I think if any time Kenny Powell's going to turn it up and say, hey, I can't conserve anymore, now is that time. I got to go. It's time to go.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that when you do go that you have enough to keep going. You don't want to go prematurely and find yourself running out. You got to make certain that you actually can sustain that run.
Jose Acosta's down pit road. This is going to change a lot here. This begs the question, can Chris Severa make it? This is going to be, if Jose's having to pit here, and Jose was a little bit slower there than Chris, I don't know. Chris just turned his fastest lap just a couple laps ago, and he did break the minute 09s. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, can Powell even make it, though, at this point? That's going to be the next question that's going to come into play.
I do believe this is going to put Kenny Powell up to 2nd place.
Powell's going to do everything he can to try to maintain that podium, because as long as he can stay within a position of Chris Severa, that's actually going to work out for him as far as not falling so far behind him in that points race.
No, I think you're 100% correct there. And looking at the time that Jose Acosta spent on pit road, he's now a lap down. He spent a lot of time on pit road. I think he might have got a penalty or something here. Probably a 40-second hold, looking at how long he spent in the box. Here we go. Ryan Strunk up to the back of the 24. Going to be fighting for second place. 3 laps to go, soon to be 2.
Yeah, Ryan Strunk definitely dialing up Kenny Powell's number, and I don't think Powell has any choice but to answer the phone.
Powell definitely going to be feeling that pressure here as Strunk side by side as they're going to be heading into turn 1. But I think even before they got there, Strunk has already got it wrapped up. And there it is. Ryan Strunk up to second place. Now, I'll tell you what, if Chris Severa can't make it on gas and he runs out, could this be Strunk's race to win?
Hey, I mean, stranger things have happened. I think we're just having to watch all of these cars individually right now as we are 2 to go. And this is going to come down to a fuel mileage race, I'm afraid.
And I'll tell you, we've seen Strunk. I mean, I've talked, we talked a lot of good about Strunk in the last couple of weeks because he has really been, he's been showing up towards the end of this season. He's really been putting all his cards on the table, and he's been, really quick. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You love to see a driver grow like that and become, competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. With 2 to go, and that is awesome. I mean, he even spun out and was actually able to come all the way back up and get all the way back up in second place, and even possibly, like you said, he still could have a chance of winning this thing, man.
Yeah, definitely could be. But I think Severa's got enough of a lead. Even if he popped down pit road for just a moment, I think he still would have the lead. It just is going to depend on,
So as long as he doesn't flame out.
Yeah, essentially here as we're working on the white flag, soon to be having the white flag waving. And, you mentioned that Strunk had spun out earlier in this race. We saw Clayton do something similar on Thursday. But the thing is it was all about the timing on when he did it. Strunk did it on the first stage, which, you still have a chance to be saved by a caution. Clayton did it in the final stage. Still finished second place, but still.
Severa did it in the final stage. It looks like he still won.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. The white flag is waving. So if Chris Severa can make it this one last lap, he will be the victor.
I think he could coast in at this point.
I mean, that is a possibility, Big Al, for sure. But some of these corners, if you have to slow down enough, you can't. How are you going to pick the speed back up if you're coasting?
He's only got a couple more to make.
Couple more corners. You're right. I think he's just got a couple. I do believe he just has one more corner after this one, and I think he's got it. Exiting the final corner, Chris Severa. I think there's nothing really that can go wrong now. Chris Severa is going to be your winner for the Asus 110.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but had he not spun himself out or self-spun, I do believe he would have had an opportunity to probably lap the majority of the field.
He definitely would have. I mean, he was getting really close to lapping Andrew Layton there. One interesting thing, and I remember Clayton Hoffman saying on Thursday, about his spin. He even said that almost kind of saved him a little bit of gas in a lot of ways, too. But, I mean, I don't know if that was the case for Severa. It just depends on how you handle that spin. If you, let off with the gas and don't let those RPMs go up, it looks like Strunk, I mean, an eternity after Chris Severa crossed the line. Here comes Strunk, going to be grabbing second place. Kenny Powell's going to hold third. Andrew Layton, I do believe he's got fourth. Jose Acosta, somehow he's now in fifth. So I don't know. I would love to have a chance to talk to Jose and see what happened there. I think he probably got a speeding penalty. That's what I'm going to guess. But Gary Adamson in sixth place. Paul Olson seventh. Greg Wychinski's going to finish eighth. Ninth place, Kendall Levron. 10th place, John Mullins. And rounding out our 11-car field here, Derek Jacobs. A little bit of a congratulatory bump there from Greg Wachinski. And here we go. Chris Severa going to be burning it down for all the fans here at Watkins Glen. And with that, let's go ahead and take a step away, and we'll be right back with our post-race show.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are already joined in the booth by our third place finisher, Kenny Powell. How are you doing this evening, my friend?
All righty.
How you feeling about that race? We saw, Ryan Strunk able to get around you there at the last second, and I think you even told us while we were on commercial break you were at 0 on the gas tank there.
Yeah, I tried the different strategy. I didn't, Thursday night I didn't think I could make it, so I went ahead and had to make the pit stop in this stage, and a couple people made it Thursday, and doing some practice with teammates and sharing notes, and got to the point where I knew I could make it. It was just a matter of how fast or slow was I going to be trying to make it. And I think I did a decent job. Happy, that's the first kind of race I've run that way. I definitely like racing, full out a little better than that. But it was a mind game, a mental game, and I was able to accomplish it. So that is a kind of a win in my book of some sorts.
Well, yeah, definitely a good finish for you, third place. I know you're leading the points, or you were leading the points, I'd say, in the Cup Series standings. This is going to be somewhat limiting the bleeding, I'd say, because Chris Severa, I think, just probably took the points lead, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think he just leapfrogged me here.
Still, third place, not a bad day. I got to ask, after Watkins Glen, we're going to Daytona next week. You think you might be able to try to, if you can get a good finish there, maybe try to leapfrog him back?
I love Daytona. Generally pretty good at Daytona, but it's a crapshoot. Anything can happen there. I could end up turning around on lap 1, or it could be, up in the front with him pushing me, or me pushing him. We'll just we'll have to see when we get there. But I do look forward to it, and we should be up front.
Well, we definitely hope you have a great time there for sure. I know you'll have a lot of teammates there, but because the point situation is so close between you two, do you think you will be working hard with him, or you think you're going to be maybe a little bit of co-opetition?
It'll definitely be co-opetition. Yeah, I'm not going to push him to the win. I guess I'll say that. We're going to race for it. We're going to try to get it if we can.
Oh, we can't wait to see it for sure, man. Well, great job for your third place finish here. Who can we shout out, Kenny?
Definitely Tucson Sound Art. I appreciate having them on board. Thanks to you guys in the booth, Asus and Team G&G put in a lot of good practice this week. So it was all good. And we'll head out to Daytona.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate your time, and we'll see you at Daytona next week.
All right. Have a good one.
You as well. That was Kenny Powell, our third place finisher here tonight. Next up, Big Al, I do believe, is going to be talking with Mr. Ryan Strunk, our second place finisher.
Hey, Ryan Strunk, man, congratulations on your second place finish. Unfortunately for you, you get to talk to me. Grid at fifth, finished second. Looks like you had a little bit of a problem there at the stage one, but you recovered nice. You want to talk us through what happened there?
How's it going, Big Al? Just right off the start, I was trying to write checks that the tires could not cash, so went off track a couple times and used that first stage just to get all that out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely appeared that you did. And then at the end of the second stage, you elected to not pit. So I mean, what was your thought process going into that?
So I gotta do a shout out to my crew chief, Greg Newsom. We were trying to pull some strategy, short pit in the stage because we didn't think that anyone could make the last stage with like no stop. So, yeah, we elected to pit early before the pits closed, and that cycled us to the front. We were able to lead some laps, and man, clean air really does these cars justice. Because when we were back in the pack, it seemed like we just couldn't get a handle on it. Then we took the lead, and it seemed like the balance just came to us.
Yeah, definitely turning some of your fastest laps when you were out in front. I mean, your lap times improved by over a second. So good call on you guys for doing that, man. But did you feel like you had a fast car and a chance to win this thing early on?
Early on, I I just knew it was going to be just like any other road course races in this series. Like the competition's so high, you have to really just capitalize on everything as a driver. Hit your marks. Don't slide your tires. Don't get a drive through or any type of penalty, and you'd ultimately have a shot. And that's exactly what we had. But tell you what, I think Chris has a 4-cylinder in that thing because he was saving some crazy fuel.
Yeah, fuel conservation was going to be the key. We knew that. I don't know if you guys were actually able to look at any of the strategies that kind of played out on Thursday night, but definitely you came in and you stuck to your strategy. That is key. Are you feeling pretty good about next week going to Daytona, though, or are you thinking it's just going to be a crapshoot?
Man, it is all about just choosing the right lanes at Daytona and not trying to do anything that's going to put you in a bad spot. These guys are so talented that it's going to be pretty cutthroat there. So I'm excited because the racing in this series is just pretty top notch. But as always, Daytona is Daytona. You'd love to win there, but you always have that big one in the back of your mind.
Yeah, especially with this new damage model, I think that's gonna turn out to be quite the spectacle, man. But hey, you guys ran real solid, man. Congratulations on that second place finish. But before we let you go, who you shouting out this week?
Definitely want to give a shout out to the Tucson Sound Art and the ISCA guys. I mean, this is really awesome series they got going on here. Want to thank my sponsor this week, Manifesto Marketing Group. They gave us the opportunity to go out and get a competitive setup for this week. Just came up one spot short. Got to thank my crew chief, Greg Newsom, as well. That's some awesome strategy because I am not a road racer, so he pulled one out there. I tell you.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to you on that paint scheme, man. We were talking about that in the broadcast, like the way you changed it up.
Yeah, it looks really William Byron-esque. I really like it. The guys in the FSM paint booth really knocked it out of the park.
Well, Roger that, bud. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to duplicate this and talk to you again on next Saturday. Congratulations again on your P2 finish, man. And go out there and hit it hard, celebrate, and we'll talk at you later.
Absolutely, Big Al. Thanks to you guys in the booth. Can't wait to watch this broadcast.
Indeed.
Alrighty. That was Ryan Strunk, our second place finisher here tonight. Next up, we are going to be joined by our winner, Chris Severa. Man, I mean, we getting ready to write you off when we saw you spin out there and Jose took the lead. I mean, did you think it was all done right there, or did you just kind of just try to keep your head down and go get back to him?
Yeah, I was definitely trying to get back to him. Tried to throw this away this race away like 3 different times. So, but yeah, I didn't know if he was gonna be saving there at the end or if he was going to fuel save to the end. So again, it was just head down, get back to him. Because at that point, I don't remember if I was good on fuel or not. I think I might have been trying to save a little extra just in case. But yeah, just totally misjudged the bus stop. I don't even remember which one I hit, if it was the first or second one that upset the car. But yeah, I was just like, all right, well, just lock it down and hopefully we don't get hit. And fortunately we didn't. We were able to drive back up there.
Yeah, definitely was a very big accomplishment there. I mean, you were like 5 seconds back from Jose, still able to catch back up and take the lead. Only leading 22 laps here tonight, but you led the ones that counted. You led, you're able to win stage one. Even, you messed up on pit road there, got that penalty, had to go to the back of the pack, drove back up, still won stage two, and you won the race. I mean, it was all really a day of recovery for you, I'd say, and still got I think the most points you could probably get. I think you're going to be our Cup Series points leader right now. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's good. I don't know exactly how much ahead that's going to put us. It should be a decent amount though. So I mean, it's anything can happen at Daytona. So hopefully we just get the car to the end, play it safe, and play out the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, you definitely have done so good, very, very good so far here. I mean, you now, I think this makes your 10th win in the Super Cup season. I mean, we asked you last week if you were going to go, be able to make it to 10. You were like, oh, I don't know. But it looks like you definitely were able to do that. And, maybe even 11th next week at Daytona. But that one's going to be, I think, even though road courses are very difficult, that one's probably going to be even harder, to be honest with you, just considering you're going to have a bunch of other cars that are going to be probably similar pace that are all going to be hungry to try to take that win away.
Yeah, you gotta have friends at Daytona, and this car just has so much drag to it. As soon as you get out into the front, it's whoever's behind you, chooses who wins the race. So it's not really up to the guy out in front. So like I said, we're just gonna play it safe, and basically we're gonna try and shadow Kenny wherever he goes, we go, and try not to give him too many points if we can help it.
All right, well, we definitely wish you the best of luck at Daytona. Who can we shout out after this big win here at the Asus 110?
Yeah, Fanatec for equipment, Energy Innovations, Advanced Sim Racing, Apex Sim Racing, Team Watson Racing for the setup. The setup was great this week. You guys, as always, up in the booth. I think Asus sponsored tonight, and Tucson Sound Art for sponsoring the series.
We'll definitely appreciate you, man, keeping it interesting for us. You definitely gave us something to talk about, that's for sure. Driving through the field, losing it there. You probably heard, if you watch the broadcast back, you probably hear me go up a couple octaves. Oh, Chris Rivera spun out, but definitely a great job to you, man. Getting back to it, not hitting anything. Definitely was very lucky there, but great win to you nonetheless. And can't wait to see you at Daytona. Thanks for your time, man.
Thanks, guys. It's gonna be a fun one to watch back. Appreciate it.
That is Chris Severa, your winner here tonight. Definitely up and down race for him, but he had the speed. Was even able to break that elusive 1 minute 0.9911. So he definitely was very, very fast out there. One of the fastest laps we've seen all week long. But definitely appreciate everybody out there that tunes in and comes, and watch the race, and everybody that even participated. I know this is a kind of an intimidating track, Watkins Glen, but definitely glad to see a lot of guys did try to tackle it the best they could. Big Aaron, any final thoughts here tonight?
No, man, just thanks our sponsors and thanks for the ISCA.
All righty. Well, definitely appreciate you, Big Al, for helping me up here in the booth, getting me my coffee this week. But we definitely had a great night tonight. We look forward to seeing everybody next Thursday. It's Daytona going to be on the docket about 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll probably be going live. Race will go green at a little after 9:30, so make sure you tune in. That is going to be one heck of a race. We're going to see probably maybe even the largest field we've seen. I mean, we've already seen some large ones. I mean, 35-car fields. Could we even break into the 40s there at that track? I mean, everybody, when Daytona comes around, everybody shows up, and we can't wait to see it. And make sure y'all tune in. And with that, I do believe we'll go ahead and draw this thing to its conclusion. Appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you next time.